Today we're checking out the brand new Evict II from Tsunami. I mean, look at this thing. We just got back from ICAST last week. Awesome show, incredible things going on. And one thing that was released that got me pretty excited here was this reel from Tsunami. It's got, I mean, an awesome look on this thing. They've done all kinds of cool new features in this reel. They've got some stuff coming down from Saltex into this reel. So in this video, we're gonna take a look at everything you need to know about this. Again, it's fresh, it's brand new. They just announced this at ICAST last week. So we're gonna give you the whole rundown, everything you need to know, all the specs on this reel, the sizing, the price. We're gonna get it in the hand and see how it feels. So stay tuned. So before we get into any of that, guys, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's like 80 to 90% of you guys that watch are not subscribed, and we would love for you to do that. It's an easy, free way that really helps us out. It takes like 2 seconds. So please go ahead, hit that subscribe button. With that, let's dive right into this reel. So I'm very excited about this thing, and a couple years back, if you told me I was gonna be excited about a Tsunami reel, I probably would have laughed at you. These guys have come a long way in these last few years. The product they're putting out now is extremely nice, and it's extremely good quality here. So this reel is no exception. So brand spanking new here. This is the Evict II. Obviously it's gorgeous, but let's go through some of the features going on in this reel. So we'll start with the body itself. So all black body, it's an all solid metal body as well. It's got that black and blue color combination going on. But yeah, all metal body. The rotor here, we've got a graphite rotor. This thing's nice and stiff, and it helps keep the reel a little light. I do have a little bit of movement there, but again, I'm squeezing pretty hard. So I don't think that's gonna be an issue here. It's just nice to keep the weight down. A metal rotor on this thing would make it significantly heavier. It's already on the heavier side. We'll get into that with the specs portion. We got a graphite rotor. We've got a one-piece bail, which is super nice. So you can see over here, it's a taper situation there on the bail. And so what that does, this is being talked about a lot. A lot of companies are switching to these types of rotors because they're better. There's no, a lot of times there's a little collar right there on, where this thing flanges out real big. And that's just something that your line can, have the opportunity to catch on. So making it all one piece, it just makes it super seamless. If your line's making contact with the bail out here, it's got to work its way into the line roller. So it's just a super seamless way for the line to get into the roller. Another thing I like about this rotor too is this shock strut. This is something that caught me off guard in the beginning. Thought it was unnecessary. I just didn't see the need for this mechanism because you don't see this. There's not very many reels, if any, besides Tsunami that's doing this sort of system on the bail mechanism. And I like it. I have come to like it a lot. So, a lot of these companies are putting a spring of some kind in this side plate, so that can control the bail, but it's extremely hard to seal that well, and this can become a failure point. Not super common, but it can become a failure point. So instead of, encasing that mechanism in there and trying to figure that out, they come up with a sealed strut system. So this thing just looks way beefier than the little springs that are in here, if you've ever seen them. And you can kind of see that move and when you open and close the bail here, but I like that there. It's a cool look, it's a unique look, a little more mechanical looking, but how much more protected they can make that, rather than tucking that in there. I think it's a really cool feature to have, makes it stand out, but yeah, it's gonna last a long time, and this bail is not gonna go bad on you. So this thing's IPX6 rated. It's got 12 seals in it, but the quality of the seals they just seem great. I mean, this is the obvious, the most obvious one you can see that's sealing the drag here. But look at that big red rubber seal. I mean, this thing's thick, it's heavy duty. It's gonna do a great job of making sure no water can get into the drag system of this thing. But again, that's one of the 12 seals. This thing's got them everywhere to make sure that water is not gonna enter this thing. So as far as drag goes, it's got their sealed CF3 drag system. We'll get into the full capacity for this 3000 size in the specs portion of the video, but all carbon fiber drag, super smooth, and it's putting out a good amount of power. Called a braid ready spool, so it's got the knurling on the inside of the spool. I still prefer backing. I think that's the best way to make sure your line, if you're putting braid on, it's the best way, in my opinion, to make sure that your braid's not gonna slip. I mean, I don't trust these. I'd rather put mono on, put 10, 15, 20 yards, whatever, of mono on there. I think that's a better way to approach this, but they do have a braid ready spool on there with the knurling. This thing's got the titanium lip on the spool as well. So this was something that I don't know how necessary I thought it was. I first was acquainted with this on the Saltex 2 reels. I just didn't see the value here, but if you do happen to drop this thing, the titanium is just much harder than the aluminum of the spool, so it's going to really help make sure that that stays nice and smooth. So if you get any kind of nicks in there, if you did drop this thing and it was aluminum, it's an opportunity for your line to be cut on that, or significantly scraped on that, which is obviously going to make it prone to break. So having a titanium spool lip I think is cool. It's flashy on there. It's a nice little accent piece, but very functional in making sure that your line is protected if you did beat this thing up. And the gearing in this reel, you've got a digitally optimized S-Drive stainless steel main gear, which is super nice. It's going to resist the salt if it did make it in there extremely well. It's a nice hard material, but then the pinion gear is this stainless as well. So those two stainless pieces meshing together, I think it's going to have a super, super strong gearing system in this thing. It's going to hold up for a long time. It also has their sealed anti-reverse bearing. So this is one of the things that caught me. I don't mean Tsunami specifically, but some reels on the market, their anti-reverse is not super tight. You'll start it and then you'll be able to bring the handle back like an inch or however much. It just doesn't stop on a dime. That is not the case here. The anti-reverse they're using stops on an absolute dime. Anywhere the rotor is at, you can see it's not coming back on you, but this thing is sealed as well. The anti-reverse itself is sealed, so it's going to make sure that that rotor always stops when the handle stops, and it continues moving even if water did find its way to that, which is going to be hard with all those seals. Then one piece handle on this reel as well. You've got power knobs on all the models. We'll get into the exact feel later on in that portion of the video, but machine one piece handle and power knob is what we got here. All right, so now let's hit the specs. And this reel comes in 5 different models, 2500 through 4000, and the 25 and the 3, there's 2 models of each. There's a high speed and a low speed, but for the sake of this video, we've got 3000 size. And this is the standard model, which is the higher gear ratio. So this thing's 12.1 ounces, definitely on the heavier side. It's got a gear ratio of 6.2 to 1. That retrieves 36 inches of line per crank. This thing has 10 bearings, again, 12 seals like we said. Holds 240 yards of 20-pound braid. Has 20 pounds of max drag, and this thing comes in at $199, and that's for each model. So 2500 through 4000, both gear ratios, everything is $200 here. All right, now let's get this thing a little closer up in the hand and see how it feels. All right, here we are in the hand, and first thing I notice is definitely some weight here. This thing is not light, but it feels extremely tough, extremely rigid. So the feel is really good here. It's very, very smooth. I actually like this power handle. If you guys know me, I'm not always the biggest power handle person, but this thing's not gigantic. The little ridges in there look great, but it adds a little bit of grip to it as well. But it is a comfortable power handle for sure. But I mean, this thing is very, very smooth. Let's feel the bail now. Bail feels fine. This is a little different feeling bail with their strut system on it that I'm used to with my Shimano reels, but bail feels fine. It's no click, it's pretty silent. You can hear the hard stop when it goes back and when it comes forward, but bail feels just fine. Let's hear the drag now. Quiet, dampened. If you like a quieter reel, this thing is definitely quiet. But overall, I mean, it feels great. Super heavy duty feeling. Obviously it looks great. I mean, those relief cuts in the spool are just gorgeous on this thing. That black and blue combo is gorgeous, but definitely on the heavier side, but it feels extremely tough and it's nice and smooth. So I think this reel is a great option in that $200 price point. You're below Stratic a little bit, you're below BGMQ a little bit. Those are probably the 2 biggest dogs in that, you know, just over 200 category. But if you're someone that fishes bait a lot, or you're harder on your gear and you're just not great at, you know, babying your stuff, you beat things like crazy, I think this reel is going to be a great option for you. Sure, it's heavy, but that's a double-edged sword. Usually the heavier stuff is in the fishing world, at least with reels, the bulkier, the more tough they are. Look at the Van Stalls out there. They're a little heavy too, but there's a reason it's the, you know, #1 selling watertight reel on the market. So the weight doesn't scare me. And again, I'm an artificial mainly type guy, shallow water sight casting, so I do prefer the lightweight reels. But if I bait fished a lot, I think this is a phenomenal option. The reel looks absolutely awesome. And if you're somebody that's hesitant about Tsunami, I get it. I was there. Try their new stuff though. They're producing extremely different products than they were 5, 6, 7 years ago. Their stuff they've been putting out since then is absolutely phenomenal. So give them a shot if that's where you're at with Tsunami. I think you'll be extremely impressed. Guys, there's links down in the description to these. We should have them showing up extremely soon, but thanks to the guys at Tsunami, this is one of the reels at ICAST. They let me take home for a few days here to make some content with it before they take it back. So appreciate those guys very much. If you like this video, guys, please go ahead and give it a like. If you got questions about this reel, let us know down in the comments. We're happy to answer those. But with that, we'll catch you in the next one.